All right, Sterile Processing Universe. My name is Hank Balch. We are back in studio with our 2024-25 Beyond Clean Vendor Management Expert Series. And with us today is Matthew Rechin, also known as Rex, the Chief Commercial Officer at ReadySet Surgical. So welcome back to the show, Rex.
Hey, Hank, how you doing? Good to be here again.
Yeah, great conversation so far in the series. Today we're going to talk to potentially one of those that is kind of the nearest and dearest, not in a good way, but in an experiential way to the average sterile processing tech, and that's these late loaner deliveries. Man, they hit us. And, late can mean a couple of different things, and maybe you can even kind of nuance that for us, but they hit us many times when we least expect it, when we're least prepared, when we have the least amount of time to do what needs to be done, and it's a real backbreaker. Talk us through why that happens and how technology can address that.
Yeah, sure. Well, as you know, the SPD does a tremendous job of kind of keeping up with surgical case volume. And in order to do that, they need to plan appropriately. So when a vendor shows up at 6 p.m. and drops off 30 trays the night before a 7 a.m. case, that certainly throws a kink into the works, and everything stops in order to make sure that we can move forward with that case. And oftentimes, as you know, what happens is the case ends up having to be rescheduled or worse, canceled. So, we tend to think, well, there's always a way, we'll just go faster, but you have limited capacity. There's only so much you can do with the equipment that you have and the trays that you have to get ready. And certainly technology from the washing and decontaminant sterilization side of things can only do so much. So here at ReadySet Surgical, what we like to do is we provide a platform to ensure that we eliminate those threats of late tray delivery, because oftentimes many of those things come out as there's a miscommunication. Someone thought the rep knew, the rep didn't know, the rep thought it was at a different time. There any number of reasons, and that's not to point a finger. It's just what happens in kind of the back and forth of a surgical schedule. So here at ReadySet, what we're able to do in a very easy to use fashion is we eliminate that threat by electronically, automatically contacting the rep, providing an opportunity for a rep to indicate exactly what trays they're bringing, how much they're bringing, and when. So now we're helping SPD management plan a little bit more appropriately. And by the way, the vendors get to plan a little bit more appropriately as well, because now they can make sure that they're bringing the right inventory for the right case. So you're not bringing 50 trays and only 3 of them end up getting used or something like that. But, automating that process is super simple to do, and it really shows up most quickly in helping reduce or eliminate late tray deliveries.
Yeah, Rex, I think it's a good call out to remember on the vendor side, these reps are not wanting to deliver late either. If
Of
they had it
course.
their way, they would want to be just as on time as everybody else wants them to be.
Absolutely. And everyone is always trying to do the right thing to the very best of their ability. Sometimes, fortunately, especially with ReadySet, now we're able to provide technology that just helps ease the stress of all of those things, and as importantly, eliminate all of those little manual tasks that you have to do in order to ensure you're getting those trays delivered on time. So it's definitely a win-win for the vendors and for the SPD team.
Yeah, we're going to pick up on a compliance piece of this conversation later on in the series, I know, because you mentioned, hey, the impact of this could be a delayed case, it could be canceled case, but it could also be, hey, we take the trays in, but then sterile processing is cutting corners to get these trays done, which is not only non-compliant, it's adding more risk into the process for the patient at the other end. And the rep doesn't want that either. The surgeon doesn't want that. Sterile processing, ultimately, we don't want that for our patients. So we're solving a lot of problems just by this communication piece of making sure that we could get these trays in as early as possible to make sure that we do not have to cut corners. But we'll tackle that here in a future
Yeah,
episode. Um,
for sure.
just in case this is anyone's first episode, we do have about 5 or 6 videos that's already been released in this series. So you're kind of catching us right in the middle here. You can catch them all on YouTube, on the Beyond Clean Facebook or LinkedIn channels. We also have them converted. They're going to be coming out in the podcast feed as well. So anywhere you turn in Beyond Clean land, you're going to be confronted with this vendor management conversation because you're being confronted with the challenges already. So we want to get some of these answers and opportunities out there in front of you too to think differently. And of course, if you want to reach out to Rex with any other questions around technology, process, anything that we've covered on one of these shows, or anything that you still got a question with that we haven't covered, we're going to have his contact information in the show notes as well. But that'll do it for this episode. And until we see you again next month, keep fighting dirty.